Welcome to the Thrive in Fashion podcast, where we explore the role of the fashion buyer, the knowledge and skill sets required for success, and the impact of the role in your retail business. In each episode, you will learn about industry best practice and how the buyer's role is evolving in this ever-changing, fast-paced industry. And now, here is your host, a fashion industry expert with over 20 years of experience, Elisabeth McHale.
The difference between a well-manufactured product and a disastrous production run can often come down to one thing: the technical pack. Join me in this episode where I explain why providing accurate technical specs is so important for every fashion buyer and designer doing product development. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Thrive in Fashion podcast. I am your host, Elisabeth McHale, and in this episode, I'm going to cover a topic that is not so glamorous, but absolutely crucial for the success of any fashion product: the technical pack. Whether you're a seasoned fashion buyer, designer, or just someone passionate about fashion, understanding the importance of accurate technical specifications is a game changer. Your tech pack is really your blueprint for your product. It's a detailed document that outlines every aspect of your design, from the materials being used and the measurements that you specify to the construction techniques that you want for a particular style and the colorways in that style. Think of it as the DNA of your product. In the same way that you cannot build a house without architectural plans, or bake a cake without a recipe? Well, you can do, but it certainly helps to have the ingredients and measurements and the instructions in order to make the best one possible. And without a comprehensive and accurate tech pack, your suppliers are left guessing and trying to interpret what it is that you are looking for and trying to do the best that they can with a poorly communicated technical pack. This does lead to misinterpretations and errors, particularly at the early stages of sample development. So why do they matter? Because sometimes designers can certainly find it tedious doing these. Buyers sort of rush through giving the details of what they want and expect that the suppliers can read their minds and fill in the gaps. But providing this accurate technical specs ensures that your product really aligns with your vision and aligns with what you had set out to develop. It ensures that every piece is produced and meets the standards that you have set. And consistency is really crucial for all brands, for not just the integrity of the brand, but for customer confidence and satisfaction. Customers come to stores or buy certain brands because they are confident in the sizing of your products, and they know that consistently they can find products that will fit them in the size that they expect it to fit, and that they don't have to try a size up or a size down every single time they're trying to buy a product. That's probably one of the most important things. A well-detailed tech pack streamlines the production process, so it minimizes the need for back and forth clarifications between you and your suppliers, saving valuable time. This is really important when it comes to managing your critical path. Lack of clarity and detailed information for the development of your products will ultimately cause delays in your critical path. When your suppliers have all of the necessary information up front, they can start producing the samples, develop more accurate costings, and you have more time to make tweaks or adjustment as you need to before you really start to run out of time, and in order to meet your launch date requirements. As I mentioned, it helps to manage your costs effectively. Developing correct patterns helps the supplier to really accurately cost and avoid a wastage of materials and fabrics, and also increase cost. So having those clear and precise, detailed instructions at the outset means that you can avoid expensive mistakes or production errors and ensure that you're keeping within your cost targets also. So what should be included in a tech pack? Sometimes you can say that this comes down to the relationship that you have with your supplier, how long you've been working with them, how well they know you. It sometimes is easier if you're using a particular spec that is tried and tested over numerous seasons. But let me outline the fundamental things that you should be providing. Creating a tech pack involves several key components. Firstly, your design sketches and flat drawings. Here you are providing colored sketches, but also a technical black and white, very simple drawing of what your style is like. So this is a flat drawing to show the garment from multiple angles, which is front and back and sides, and showing all of the styling details and components that you wish to have on this style. These visuals are crucial to convey the overall design concept to the supplier. Listing all of the materials required to create the product include the fabrics, what trims you're looking for, buttons, zippers, any other components. And you need to specify the exact type, the color, the quantity of each material, what size you're looking for, particularly in buttons, as much detailed information. Really, you want to be able to look at this sheet and not have any reason for the supplier to come back and question because you've left out some information. Provide detailed measurements for your size range and include information on how the garment should fit and any specific measurement tolerances. Accurate sizing information ensures that your product will fit as intended. During the prototype and development process, there is always an allowance, a tolerance allowance, when assessing or determining the measurements for the spec. And usually this is, certainly in Europe, it can be plus 0.5 cms or minus 0.5 cms. When it starts to exceed that, it can alter the garment and thus not be consistent. Or you may find that actually you need to change your specifications. If you're finding that you need to add in a 1 cm or 1.5 cm at certain areas, then you're actually creating a totally new specification. You also need to include construction information. So describe specific construction techniques to be used. So this can include the type of stitching that you want, for example, top stitching, twin needle stitching, cover stitching, the seam types that you wish to have on the particular garment, and this will also be relevant to the type of fabric that you're specifying, and any special construction requirements. The more detailed you are, the better your supplier can replicate your design idea accurately. It's also important to include color specs and artwork placements. So if your design features a print or an embroidery, you need to provide detailed artwork files and specify the exact placement on the garment. The artwork files should be broken down and have color references for everything that you want on that print or everything that you want included on that embroidery. When it comes to labeling and packaging, you should outline the requirements for your labels and the way that you want your product packaged. This includes all of the internal care labels, the brand labels, and any specific packaging instructions. Proper labeling and packaging ensures that your product is presented professionally and adheres to your brand guidelines. And when it comes to quality standards and testing, this can vary depending on the region in which you operate, but you need to define the quality standards that your supplier must follow. Include any testing requirements for fabric durability, color fastness, and garment performance. This list is broader depending on the category that you're developing a product for, but making sure that all of the standards required are shared upfront ensures that your product will meet your quality expectations and pass the required tests to ensure that your product ultimately is fit for purpose. Some of the consequences of an inaccurate or incomplete tech pack are production delays. This is because your supplier may need to seek clarification, and this to and fro of questions and answers can lead to your timelines being pushed out, missing deadlines, and this is particularly problematic when you are working to a tight schedule for a seasonal launch. You need to be mindful during the critical path that there is a limit to the amount of revisions and back and forth communication and the number of samples that you can develop if you still wish to meet your launch date without pushing things out or changing the dates. Mistakes or changes to your style or to the tech pack during the product development stage can require cost increases. And due to changes of the style, more fabric is required, or there are additional components or trims required, can also result in a cost increase, which is the last thing that you need when you're working within a tight budget. Without precise specifications, your suppliers might interpret your design incorrectly, and certainly this is something I have seen in the past where the drawing was a little bit too elaborate. So it wasn't a full colour drawing, but it wasn't a black and white one. And where there was shadowing to make the drawing look a little bit more professional, the shadows in grey were interpreted as a styling feature. And as a result, the sample arrived with grey fabric stitched at various parts of the garment until we realised that actually this was a mistake, and it was a mistake on the part of the designs and the tech specs that we sent. So it does happen. How can you ensure that you are developing accurate tech packs? Firstly, it is a collaborative effort. This can include your design team, your product development team, and your quality assurance or quality control team. Here are some things to consider. Firstly, work closely with the team so everyone is aware of all aspects of the product. The designers should communicate very clearly what the product and specifications are required, while the quality assurance team can provide insights on compliance and testing requirements. Using detailed sketches and diagrams and written descriptions to convey your specs, along with images. If you have images or photos of a product or what it is that you're trying to explain, the more information that you provide, the better. Fabric swatches and colour samples or specific colour references will also ensure that every detail is captured accurately. Maintain consistency in your tech packs by using standardized templates and terminology. Ensure that you are very clear on where the measurements should be taken from on the garment, and make sure that that is clearly specified on your tech pack and your tech pack drawings. It helps your supplier to understand your requirements more easily, and again reduces that risk of misinterpretation. It is important to regularly review and update your tech packs based on feedback from your suppliers, but also from customer feedback when your products have sold. Continuous improvement is key to ensuring that your specs remain accurate and effective. The bottom line is that you can create tech packs that will minimize errors, reduce costs, and ensure that your products meet the highest standards of quality and compliance. Tech packs and specifications are essential tools to bridge that gap between your stylized design and the production or the bulk production of a large quantity order. Having an accurate and comprehensive tech pack ensures that your vision is realized and your products will meet the standards that you are looking for. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this deep dive into tech packs and specifications was helpful. Retail is all about detail, and in the world of fashion buying, these details definitely make the difference. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and share the show. For more of Elisabeth's industry tips and to learn more about how you can develop your buying skills, visit thriveinfashion.com. There you can find show notes for this episode and every episode. Also, register for the Thrive in Fashion program and sign up for weekly news delivered straight to your inbox. Until next time.